How's it going?
The sun is starting to get blocked by the clouds, so it's making everything cozy.
Everyone doing okay? Hope we're doing great. Ready for some more math? Ready to learn? I'm excited. Do we have to do anything today? Well, there's this nice review sheet posted in that Dropbox, 9 9. This is 9 9 review. We need to know chapter 9 stuff, so might be helpful. Cheers. Water. The best thirst quencher. It's fine. Sure, I'm excited too. Yep. Okay, so basically, as an easy recap of everything that we need to know, is going to be sine, cosine, and tangent graphs, state and domain range, period, amplitude, um, horizontal shift, vertical shift, all that different stuff. So being able to graph that, and then evaluating stuff in the unit circle. Literally, those are the two things that are being required for this test, for this section. If you know how to do those two things, A plus for days. Does anyone have any trouble accessing the document? I want to make sure everyone's okay. What test? Well, I mean, there's technically a Chapter 9 test, right? For Chapter 9 stuff. I put on a quote unquote online test for you guys to be able to do. Yes, 9 9 is review. I don't know how to do a unit circle quiz online. I'd love to do a unit circle quiz, but I can't tell if you guys are cheating or what. So this one is going to be like an offline at home test. That's basically the plan, is an offline at home test. So, separate sheet of paper, print it, whatever suits your boat. But okay, yeah, you can print it. We'll give like another minute or two for people to join. Dude, I don't know what it is today. I've been yawning a lot. So the test is 9 10, and it says like online test. You don't have to print it though. You can do everything on a separate sheet of paper. I should start a band. That sounded so cool. Out of it today too. Yeah, dude. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just being cooped up, staying at home so long. Yeah, it's just like my brain's fuzzy. Will we be able to do test corrections? Well, do the best you can. I mean, you're doing it at home, so technically anything that we do at home isn't for a grade, but it could benefit you. It could be extra credit, things along those lines. So I don't know what the future looks like, right? They could easily say we're going back on April, which is fine. They could easily say, we're out of school for another couple weeks. They could say we're out of school for the rest of the year. I have no idea what's going on. So, the only thing that I can do is prepare you as best I possibly can, because what we're going to do is we're going to prepare and be ready, and then best case scenario, you guys are still ready for honors advanced math, right? Worst case scenario, you're still ready for honors advanced math. So we can cheat. No, dude, you should do the best you possibly can. You should do the best you possibly can. Honor system. No cheating, Shane. Do the best you can. Dude, my headphones hurt. Ugh. All right, so let's get started on the worksheet. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, the governor saying that the quarantine is, being extended. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with all the quarantine and stuff. Like I said, all of this is just massive question marks. We don't know what's going to happen, and I can't confirm any of the spots for registration for summer. I don't even think they're even thinking about summer right now, right? This is just chaotic. Right now, school systems are focused and just trying to get you guys the best possible education that they can get. That's what I'm trying to do, is still give you guys the best possible education that we can give, because you're moving on to the next math class and we want to get you signed up. Of course it's Darush. You gotta calm it there, Breddit. Remember, positivity, building people. You guys are funny. But like I said, the way that you guys are handling this, just continue working on your stuff, doing the best you possibly can. You're only building credibility for yourself. You're only helping yourself, right? I want you guys to move on to that next math class. And what we're doing right now is building up to that. And that's all we can ask for. That's all we can do. AP Calc, you mean honors pre-calculus. Not AP Calc. Oh, there it is. It's the dab. I see it. Oh no. Oh no. What did Taku just start? Now everyone's going to start dabbing. Yep. Uh-oh. Oh, elbow cough. Yeah. You guys are so funny. You guys are so funny. This is hilarious. All right. All right. All right. Let's focus. Let's focus. Let's get through this. So, number one, it's a sine graph. So I know my parent graph starts here, goes up, crosses, goes below, goes back. I just have to find what those values are. So I have to take whatever that is and put it between 0 and 2 pi. So I take the x plus the pi halves, put that between 0 and 2 pi. Minus pi halves. So we get negative pi halves is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 3 pi halves. So this right here, I'm going to extend that. So we have negative pi halves. We have 3 pi halves. So to find those middle values, you add them together and divide by 2. So negative pi halves plus 3 pi halves all over 2. So negative 1 plus 3 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So you get pi halves. And then the middle of these 2's is 0. It looks like it's going up by pi halves, so this is going to be 2 pi halves. So Newton, I can't confirm anything right now, man. Like there's nothing I can take a look at. If you signed up for it, great, but there's nothing that I can confirm right now. Like the school, all that stuff, it's closed. So the other pieces that I need to be aware of is going to be, I have my amplitude of 2 and I have my vertical shift of 2. So when I go through and draw my graph, every tick mark is going to be by pi half. My center line is going to move up 2 spaces. Right, so that's my vertical shift. So normally it's going to start here, but it's going to move up 2 spaces. Normally it's going to be here, but it's going to move up 2 spaces. Normally it's here, but it's going to move up 2 spaces, and then down below, but it's going to move up 2 spaces, and then back to the center line. Oh, they canceled your driving test? Yeah, that stinks. Yeah, no school till April 19th? Maybe. It could be that. We don't know. There's nothing from the school district that says April 19th. Right now, the plan is April 6th until it's said otherwise. And so then we can connect those two. And there's my 1 cycle for my sine graph. So my amplitude is going to be 2. My period change is 2 pi over b. My horizontal shift is the first value in the box, so that's going to be negative pi halves. My vertical shift was 2, since everything shifted up 2 spaces. And then Shane. No politics in here and no saying troll, insightful stuff. So you will get kicked. None of that. So there's that information here. And then there's my graph, and then my domain, since that's only one cycle, but it does go on forever, so negative infinity to positive infinity. And my range, it starts at 0 and goes up to 4. So it's going to be from 0 to 4. Okay, so for that one question, there's all of those that pieces of information there. We have the graph, we have the amplitude, period change, horizontal shift, vertical shift, and the domain and range. Yep, you got it, Taku. Questions there? Questions on any of the pieces that I did? It started. Oh no. There you go. Had to beat you guys there. I coughed 4 times. You know. Oh, you guys are funny. So any questions on this number 1? I'm assuming no. Okay, let's move on. Let's try number 2. So it's tangent this time. So that means I'm going to take the x over 3 and I'm going to put that between 0 and pi. So sine and cosine is 0 and 2 pi. Tangent is just between 0 and pi. So multiply everything by 3. So I get 0 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 3 pi. So then my box, 0, 3 pi, add them together and divide by 2. So then remember dot asymptote dot. So in drawing my tangent graph, so it's going up by 3 halves, so that's 3 pi halves, and then 3 pi. You could also 6 pi halves, right? If you wanted to scale it, multiply top and bottom by 2 over 2. And so my vertical shift, everything's going to move up 2. So there's that. And then you goes dot, asymptote, and then dot. And then there's my tangent paragraph. Everyone's starting their dab train. The cough train. That's what it is. It's the cough train. Right? Everyone needs to practice the cough. So finding all the information here. We have a amplitude, none. That's a trick question. My period shift is going to be pi over b. So pi over 1/3, which is just going to be 3 pi. My horizontal shift is the first value in the box, so that's 0. My vertical shift is again 2. My domain, You don't have to worry about that, but my range is going to be from negative infinity to positive infinity. Oh, you guys are funny. And I'm all out of water. And I'm all out of coffee. This coffee mug. Chris Angel, Mindfreak. It's a pretty cool show. If you ever go to Vegas, dude, that place is shut down right now. Gotta drop. Okay, any questions on number 2? Have not figured out a method to test online. The only thing you have right now is a take-home test. Do the best you can. The only thing it can do is help you. It'll be maybe for some sort of extra credit, so do the best you can. And it has nothing to do with me figuring out a method to test. It's the district providing the structure for that. So I could go ahead and create what I need to create for you guys to be able to test. It's just the district needs to be supportive of that, and right now they're not having that. The Patriots' playoff chances could be. It very well could be. Very well could be. They're maybe not the best, team in the division, and the Bills look stacked now. They have Stephon Diggs, they have John Brown. You guys are funny. Okay, any questions on 3 or 4? Because it's basically 3 is basically the same thing with 1, except that negative is going to cause cosine to flip, and it's a different parent graph. And then same thing here, except negative, so it's going to cause the tangent to flip. You guys are funny. Number 3? Okay. So we're going to take... So I know it's cosine. So cosine does that. But because of the negative, it's going to be the green. Everything's going to flip. So we just need to remember that the green is what the graph is going to be for cosine because of that negative. Klein bottle. What the heck? Okay. So we're going to take the 2x plus 1/3, and we're going to put that between 0 and 2 pi. So I'm going to minus a pi third. And so I'm going to get negative pi thirds is less than or equal to 2x, which is less than or equal to, now find the common denominators. That's going to become 6 pi thirds. So 6 minus 1 pi gives me 5 pi. And then divide everything by 2. So that's going to give me, for my box thing, I'm going to have to do some scaling, so that's why I drew it bigger. So I get negative pi 6. Over here is 5 pi 6. Any questions on that so far? So add them together and divide by 2. So negative pi 6 plus 5 pi 6 divide by 2. So that negative 1 plus 5 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2, so this is going to be 2 pi 6. And then negative 1 plus 2 is 1. 1 pi 6 divided by 2 is going to give me pi 12ths. And then here 2 plus 5 is 7. 7 pi 6. 7 pi 6 divided by 2 is going to be 7 pi 12ths. Any questions on that part? I know this delay. Oh, the delay. It's so. Okay, so I think that's okay. So I just want to scale this. So this is going to be negative 2 pi 6. Sorry, 2 pi 12s if I multiply top and bottom by 2. And then that's pi 12s. Top and bottom by 2, you get 4 pi 12s. And then 7 pi 12s. And then top and bottom by 2, you get 10 pi 12ths. So now, I'm going to move this over a little bit. So I can get a little bit more room. So now, scaling this, every little tick mark is going to be a pi 12. So this is going to be negative 2 pi 12ths, and then pi 12ths, and then 4 pi 12ths, and then 7 pi 12ths, and then 10 pi 12ths. Sorry, it's like a little messy. Like this pen can't precisely write on this screen as precise, so that's why it's when you write smaller on this screen, it gets a little off. So I apologize for that. My vertical shift is -1, so everything's going to get shifted down one space. So starting, my amplitude is 2, so it's going to start down here. I'll do red. And then it's going to cross. And then it's going to go 2 above. And then it's going to cross, and then it's going to go 2 below again. Now it looks a little awkward only because the spacing on that side is larger than I spaced it on this side, and that's my bad. So any questions on that piece? So then so answering the different values, my amplitude is still 2, even though it's negative. Remember that amplitude is always positive. My period shift is 2 pi over b, which is pi. My vertical shift is -1. My horizontal shift, or the phase shift, is my first value in the box, so negative pi 6, because that's what it shifted over to. My domain is negative infinity to positive infinity. And then my range, it looks like it's going to be from -3 to +1. Comments or questions on that? I know. The silence. Okay. So I'm assuming everything seems to be good there. So each point goes by 1. What do you mean exactly? I wonder if the chat's also delayed. Are you referencing the each of these tick marks? They're going by 1. Each tick mark is going to go by a pi 12th. So 1 pi 12th, 2 pi 12th, 3 pi 12ths, 4 pi 12ths, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. So the graph is at -3. So the graph is at -3 because of 2 things. One, my vertical shift is moving down 1, so there's my vertical shift. And then right here, that's my amplitude. So if it moves down 1 and my amplitude is 2, 1 and 2 give me 3. And so that's why it's going to start at the -3. And so does each go for each point plotted. So each of these is, I think, maybe I'm unsure. So the distance from here to here is 2. So this is at the 2 pi 12ths, and it's down to, are you talking about like each of these being 1? So then that's 2, and then it goes up 2, and then it's back to the center line, and then it's down 2? Oh my gosh. Jared. Jared, you win that StarCraft 2 game? Up in here calling people out on typos. Calm down. Okay, so did that answer your question then, Alexis? Because each value is it's going up, it's by like 2 spaces. So each or on the y-axis, each one is worth 1. Yeah. Yes, negative tangent, it's going to get the flipped. Whenever you have a negative in front of your function, it always means reflection. Sum number 4, it will get flipped. Newton, you sound condescending. You don't need to be like, well, you said it already. Like, I don't need that. Can I do number 4? Okay. Does anyone else have any questions on number 3 before I move on? I think no, so I'm just going to move on. All right, so number 4. I also have to be careful about writing things in this area. All right, so number 4, I know it's tangent, so I'm going to take the values here and put that between 0 and pi. So minus pi on everything. Multiply everything by 2. So then in my box, negative 2 pi and 0. Add them together, divide by 2, I get negative pi. And then it's going to be dot asymptote dot. And so then putting that on my line, each tick mark is going to be a pi. Each one of these is going to be by 1, so negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. So here's my new center line. So it's going to be dot. There's my asymptote, and then dot. Now normally, tangent will do this. But because of that negative that's in front of my tangent right here, it says negative tangent, that reflection is going to reflect my graph. And so that's the graph for number 4. Any questions on that? Any questions? Okay, so we have that. Let's go ahead and then move on. Any questions on any of the unit circle stuff? I think you guys are masters of the universe on this. But are there any questions on this piece here? So for example, cosine of negative 2 pi thirds. Right, so negative 2 pi thirds is here. So my values there are going to be negative 1/2, negative radical 3 over 2. So the cosine value is going to be the negative 1/2. For tangent, so number 7. Here's number 5. But for number 7, rotates a negative pi fourths. So that's going to be radical 2 over 2, negative radical 2 over 2. So tangent is sine over cosine. So sine over cosine. So that's going to give me negative 1. You're a unit circle master. Good. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to hear. All of you should be Unit Circle masters. Masters of the Circleverse. Here we go. We're gonna do a little cough again. All right, so I think that's about sums it up. Are there any last questions before we go? You guys are funny. Okay, so let me just show you before we get done here. So what I have here is the Chapter 9 online test. So all of this here, this is basically, you should know how to do this. My advice is to go through this and do the best you can. Oh, what's the amplitude of this function? -9 cotangent. Remember I said amplitude is only for sine and cosine? Ooh. So anyways, but go ahead and through that. And then maybe what I'll do is I'll kind of create a video talking about it, or I'll post the answer key and you guys can chance. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it, but this will be something that when we do get back, I'll go ahead and collect and look at, and maybe it'll be some sort of like extra credit or something along those lines. But we need to, this is stuff that is essential and is necessary for success in pre-calculus, which is why we're doing this. We want to prepare for pre-calc. We want to do the best we can. And so this is the way that we're going to be able to do it. So if you guys do need anything, if you guys do need any help, remember you can reach me in Discord. Other than that, I think we're good, guys. I won't be doing any live streaming until we get back from spring break. So all next week is spring break. Just know that Alex isn't due until the Wednesday we get back from spring break. So you guys can get it all done now or get it done then. No. It's all up to you. But just know that that's there. Other than that, you guys have a good one, okay? Just be prepared for on the 30th when we do get back. We're going to be in Chapter 10. I will have the Chapter 10 stuff probably. I'm still finishing the last little bit of it. So once that gets done, once I get through that, then I'll have everything uploaded. I like uploading them in chunks. So I'll have everything uploaded for you then. But other than that, I hope you guys have a good break. I'll have that mid next week for you guys. And talk to y'all later.